Ain't no way. Are you kidding me? This is a lock and reward hero. Okay. His damage, his healing. I mean, thank you. Thank you, Moonton, for giving us this epic, being Wrath as log and reward. We have so much to dive into. This guy's incredible. Let's see what a fully geared Wrath can really do in the guild boss. What up, team? It's Murderanko. We are talking about Wrath, the greatest thing this game's ever given us for free. So Wrath is going to be a hero that every single player in this game is going to get, and my word, does he look amazing. His model is crazy, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about how good the hero is, right? So the big thing for epics, and especially lords, since the drop rate from pulling them is significantly lower, is going to be, how do we awaken them? Good news, if you're a starting player or if you're mid-game, you get so many of these like purple soulstone shards that you can use to awaken any universal epic, and you're going to run out of heroes to give this to. You may think I'm joking, but wait until you get to the end game. I'm sitting on a ton and I'm just using them on random epics because I have them and I don't need to use the epics. Like I said, you will all get there eventually. So as far as his awakening goes, you actually get his first awakening specific soulstone for free as an additional login reward. So triggering Soul Basher guarantees a crit. Next awaken, crit damage, very nice. Inflicts burning on targets that take AoE damage, so high uptime. Penetration, very strong in this game. When heavy blow is triggered, the hero restores HP equal to 30% of the total damage dealt. This is busted for many, many reasons. This is going to give this hero enough sustain to not need a healer anywhere within range. You can put him all the way on the other side of the map, and if he's awakened 5, meaning you have one of him, you got one soulstone, and you used soulstones or pulled 4 additional copies and awakened him up, he can self-sustain beyond belief. Now, there's one thing about this champion I have to talk about, because I have never seen a hero show results like Wrath has. I'm going to explain to you what I've made. So first, I tested him out in Infernal Roar, which was kind of the obvious thing to do. He has a basic attack. Every 4 attacks he launches, the next attack deals an additional 100% damage, so it increases the strength of his basic attack. Then he has a auto cast ultimate, increases damage by 30%. Additionally, every 3 basic attacks launched triggers an extra attack to up to 5 enemy units, dealing 115 magic damage. Okay, so the clear choice for this guy is Infernal Roar, right? Now, some people might be thinking, well, no, the clear choice is actually soulbond arcana, because he's ulting. I mean, this guy has the fastest ult in the game. If you look at the run that I did in the gameplay, he is ulting even faster than Arrogance, who is another self-cast ult hero, and I don't know, he's like a cross between Arrogance and Dolores. Dolores falls behind when her passive procs for that, I believe it's 300 additional rage when she's done ulting. She gets gapped by how fast Wrath is, which is kind of unbelievable. I mean, you'll watch when his ultimate ends, his bar, his rage just starts filling up like you wouldn't believe. So you might be thinking, okay, so he's getting 5 stacks really quickly. How could anyone justify using Infernal Roar on this hero? That's where things get really weird, because we just went over his kit here, and he's proccing additional attacks over and over again. And those additional attacks are basic attacks. So now we are in this really weird situation where this is the first hero I found who is proccing basic attacks so often from the start of the fight, getting that plus 40% damage, that by the time he ults 5 times, the damage of the 2 sets are very close to each other throughout the entirety of the fight. And you might be like, Murder, what are you talking about? Like, who cares? I mean, maybe who cares, but I'm just saying I've never seen this. Usually Soulbound Arcana is significantly better on a champion, or Infernal Roar is significantly better. But if I go back to all of my tests, and I can kind of reveal one final recap, which my jaw dropped when I saw this. I wasn't expecting a lot. I've tested many epic heroes, and like Demos is an outlier for sure, but if we look at this run specifically, we have 64 million damage, but 13.5 million healing done to this hero. Like, you're not dying through anything with that sustain. Like I said, you can put him in the corner, and if you have a fighter heavy team, it's okay if you have Wrath. You can just put him to the side as long as he's A5. But 64 million damage is really impressive. Between the two sets and his variants, and he does have kind of a large variance, I use Toreador, which gives you the chance to proc extra attacks, and this guy's attacking like 1,000 miles an hour, so there's going to be a natural variance, but the highest damage I saw was 67 million for both sets. The lowest damage I saw was 61 million for both sets. The average was slightly higher in Infernal Roar than soulbond arcana by 1 million damage throughout the entirety of the fight. I only tested about 21 or 22 times, but a 1 million damage difference in benefit of Infernal Roar is kind of crazy after we just saw how fast he gets up to 5 ultimates. So I'm kind of scratching my head at this guy. I don't understand. He's incredibly strong. So let's talk about how you want to build this guy. The first thing you want to do, and don't get fooled by the stats here, I had to swap, I think, the necklace. That's why my crit rate isn't at 100%. It was for the testing, so don't worry about that. But as far as gearing this hero, what do you want to do? Because for most accounts, if not all accounts, this guy is going to probably be your top damage dealer in the guild boss for quite some time. Of course, we want attack, as much attack as possible. Then we want to get as close to 100% crit rate as possible. I would say 85% or higher is good enough. Then attack speed is incredibly strong. Just forget about crit damage if you're early game, mid game, even into late game. You don't want to worry about it too much here, but attack speed is crazy. We already saw that he launches additional attacks based on how often he attacks, and of course this is capped with a 4-second cooldown. So if we go back to his gear, go to his stats, the interval cannot go under 1 second. If it does, he's going to be attacking too fast for the passive, but I have 411 and I'm not even close to 1 second, so I don't think anyone in the game really has to worry about that. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the artifact. What's the best artifact for a hero like this? I tested the Scarlet Hunt. I tested, for some reason, the Void Gazer, just to say I tested it. I tested Flawless Blade. Don't use Flawless Blade. And then I tested Crystal of Vileness. Crystal of Vileness was the best performing artifact of them all. Not sure why, to be honest with you. I really don't know why. I'm not sure what stats are being snapshot on this and why it's so good for heroes like Zilitu, Valeria, and now we find out that it's good on Wrath here. But for some reason, it was consistently higher than Scarlet Hunt, even with an A5 Salazar, meaning incredibly high uptime on the bleed, if not 100% throughout all 22 fights. So if you don't have Crystal of Vileness, I think it's one of the more rare artifacts. Not all the drop rates are the same. I can make another video on that. It's not the same for when you pull shards or for most things in the game, but it's not a conspiracy, despite what some people think. So we've gone over the basics here: attack speed, 80 to 85% crit rate, and then after all of that, you can start looking at crit damage. Rage regen is okay on this guy. I would say 20% is fine if you happen to have it on some gear, but I really don't think you need to push for that 40% threshold that's strong on other heroes, because if you're using a Dolores, having rage regen is probably going to be a damage loss. If you don't have a Dolores, rage regen is probably going to be a sizable gain for you, because he's just going to be ulting faster and you want him to do that. So that is going to be the breakdown of this hero Wrath, why he's insanely strong, and how he can do 60 million damage and not need a healer at all, which is usually to self-sustain a hero, you need a specific artifact, which is called Soul Drainer. Increases block by 1. Additionally, the wearer restores HP equal to 1.2% of max HP each time they deal damage to one target, stacking up to 3 times. If you have this on pretty much any hero with good attack speed, you are just capped. You're just going to self-sustain. But the fact that Wrath can do what this artifact does, but better with the A5 version, is crazy, because now you can use Crystal of Vileness, and like I said, fighters in this game are overpowered in the guild boss. So being able to have an extra fighter outside of the healer's range on top of the 3 main ones or the 4 main ones you're using that can get hit by some heals is a massive benefit. Cannot stress that enough. So that's going to conclude this video on Wrath that many players should find helpful because, again, every player in the game is going to have this hero for sure here. Now, I covered the stats. Am I forgetting anything? Awakens, artifact, skilling this guy up. He will, I mean, of course, if you increase his skills, he's going to do more damage, right? Is it required? No. You can get away with not skilling this guy up. He's going to lose a decent amount of damage, but he's still going to pump for you. So after going over all of that, that's going to conclude this video. Hopefully you enjoy it. This guy's a pumper. If you like this content, smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss my next upload, and I will see you all in the next video.